Good afternoon and welcome to the University of St. Francis Baseball. Today taking on Olivet Nazarene University from Route 66 Stadium in Joliet, Illinois. My name is Terry Bonadonna and I'll have the call for today's 9 innings of action as the Saints try to win for the 16th time in their last 17 games. They come in with a record overall of 19-12. Olivet Nazarene 19-8. A tough foe, should be a good game. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Tigers of Olivet. Leading things off is the shortstop, Ryan Campbell. Batting second, center fielder R.J. Reno. Nathan Moonen hits third and plays third base. Tyler Fisher is the designated hitter. Batting fifth, right fielder Jacob Boltice. Hitting sixth at first base, Braden Payne. Logan Matson is at second base. Jake Bizkalis bats eighth and does the catching. And hitting ninth, left fielder Alex Campbell. The starting pitcher for today's Olivet Nazarene Tigers is Tyler Gertine. For the Fighting Saints, getting their warm-ups in right now and getting us set to begin the game, Travis Schoonover leads off in right field. Batting second, center fielder Dolan Nicholson. Joe McGuire returns to the lineup as the designated hitter. Hitting fourth, first baseman Anthony Ferran. Jake Lasota bats fifth. Lasota's in left field. Hitting sixth, third baseman Josh Tesh. John Peterson is at second base. Jonathan Wolf hits eighth and plays shortstop. And hitting ninth, the catcher Kevin Rada. On the hill for the Fighting Saints today, sophomore right-hander Angel Sandoval makes his seventh start and eighth appearance this year. He's 2-4 with a 4.10 ERA. He's on the mound right now and ready to get going. Facing the right-handed hitting Ryan Campbell to start things off. Sandoval winds up. The first pitch of the ball game misses inside for ball one, and we're underway at 1 o'clock sharp Central Daylight Time. 1-0 on Ryan Campbell, a .333 hitter this season. Sandoval back into the windup. The 1-0 offering misses down low, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Angel Sandoval has pitched 41 2/3 innings this year. He's allowed 21 runs, 19 of them earned on 40 hits with 31 strikeouts to 15 walks. Opponents are betting .248 against him this year, maybe a little higher than that now as Campbell shoots one out to left field for a base hit. Ryan Campbell starts off the ball game with a single, a hard ground ball to the left side of the infield. Josh Tesh made a lunging effort for him. It hit off his glove. Off the heel of his glove, it looked like off of a short hop and out to left field. A hit, though, not an error, as Campbell smashed that ball into left field. So good base runner aboard to start off the ball game. Here's R.W. Reno. Saints will have to keep a close eye on Campbell over at first base as Reno takes the first pitch high for ball one. This is a running ball club. In 27 games, they've got 89 stolen bases this year. Campbell's at the forefront of the stolen base party for Olivet Nazarene, but everybody runs. That ball is driven deep down the right field line, twisting foul, and it is a strike on Reno. 1-1, hard hit ball. Sandoval just 5 pitches into the game, not sharp so far. 3 of the first 5 pitches have missed the zone. The 2 that were strikes were both pounded, one for a base hit by Campbell and one for a foul ball by Reno. Sandoval's got plenty of time to settle in here. R.W. Reno's a .300 hitter. He's got 8 extra base hits, no homers, 14 RBIs. A left-handed hitting outfielder with Campbell taking a very short lead from first base. Reno takes a ball inside. It's 2-1. R.W. Reno has reached base in 41% of his plate appearances this year. 10 walks, 7 times he's been hit by a pitch in 27 games. He bunts it foul. The count is 2-2. Ryan Campbell over at first base has been stationary so far. He's got 15 stolen bases, though, on the season in 16 attempts. Again, Olivet likes to run a lot. They're very successful at it. 89% success rate on the season, and obviously Campbell a little bit better than that at 15 of 16. He distanced himself by an extra half step Not going on the 2-2. That's fouled straight back by R.W. Reno. He'll see a 6th pitch from Angel Sandoval. Reno, pronounced like the city. It isn't spelled that way. R-I-E-N-O-W. Now you spell R.W. Reno, junior outfielder from Wheaton, Illinois. Another 2-2 pitch coming here with the runner on the move. A smash on the ground through the right side of the infield. Campbell heads to third base. Back-to-back singles begin the ball game. They're at the corners for Olivet Nazarene with nobody out in the first inning. It was not a designed hit and run there, but with the runner going, a little bit of an extra gap up the middle. The shortstop, Jonathan Wolf, was actually the one covering second base. So John Peterson didn't really vacate his area. He was already playing closer to the middle of the field in double play depth. But Reno hit a ground ball to just the right spot on the infield. A hard hit grounder between first and second base. And now there are 2 on for the dangerous Nathan Moonen. Moonen swings the first pitch and fouls it back out of play for strike 1. Nathan Moonen is hitting .310 this year. He's got a homer and 13 RBIs. It's a team that does not hit very many home runs. They've got just 5 of them in their 27 games played. 1 is in a 5-way tie for the team lead. Moonen trying to pad his RBI total here. He certainly doesn't need a homer. He bunts at it instead and misses. Runner goes down to second safely. A stolen base for R.W. Reno. Count is 0-2 on Nathan Moonen. Reno has 16 stolen bases now, so he has passed Ryan Campbell as the team leader. He's 16 of 18, and now 2 men in scoring position, but there is an 0-2 count on Nathan Moonen. Still nobody out in the top of the first inning. Sandoval sets and delivers. It's in the dirt. A good block by the veteran catcher Rada, and the count is 1-2. Reno took off with the pitch to Nathan Moonen. He was showing bunt. In fact, he did bunt at the ball, did not pull the bat back, ended up going as a strike. I think Kevin Rada thought that perhaps with the bunt on there, there may have been a squeeze in play, and he looked back to third base to see where Campbell was. 1-2. Hit high in the air, shallow right field. Travis Schooner comes in towards the line. He makes the catch. Campbell tags. He's going to try to score. The throw to the plate is in time. The tag is there, and Campbell is out at home plate. It's a double play. A risky move there by Ryan Campbell on a very shallow fly ball to right field, testing the arm of Travis Schoonover. It was not a perfect throw by Schoonover. It was up the third base line a little bit, but it had Campbell beat so easily that the tag was there anyway. 2 outs in the inning. Reno did advance to third base on the play, but with 2 down, that's not nearly as big a concern for Angel Sandoval, who can get out of the inning if he retires Fisher here. Easier said than done. Tyler Fisher, the cleanup batter in DH, swings at the first pitch, lifts it out to deep center field, looks to be playable as the catch is made by Dolan Nicholson going back towards the warning track. Fisher took that ball for a ride, but not far enough. And Angel Sandoval pitches around back-to-back singles to begin the inning and does not allow a run in the first. Olivet leaves a man at third. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning. St. Francis will come to bat in a scoreless tie. Travis Schoonover, Dolan Nicholson, and Joe McGuire are due up for the Fighting Saints in the bottom of the first inning. Ferran, Lesota, Tesh, Peterson, Wolf, and Rada make up the rest of the lineup. And they're facing against the ace of the Olivet Nazarene staff, Tyler Gertine. Gertine is starting for the 8th time. He's 5-2 with a 1.83 ERA. Here he goes, facing Travis Schoonover to start things off. It's a swing and a fly ball, foul territory left side, and out of play. Count is 0-1 on Travis Schoonover, a .311 hitter with 2 homers and 15 RBIs this year. Gertine has pitched 44 1/3 innings this season. He's allowed 15 runs. Only 9 of them have been earned on 36 hits, 48 strikeouts to 16 walks. Schoonover swings again, lifts it out to deep left field. Going back is Alex Campbell. Campbell spins around a little bit and can't find it as the ball drops right next to him. Schoonover on the run, beyond second base, heading for third, and he will make it into third base. A stand-up triple for Travis Schoonover, and a rousing start for St. Francis's offense. That ball was misplayed out in left field by Campbell. It was certainly a playable ball. It was hit well by Schoonover, deep left field. But if Campbell had located it correctly, he would have made the catch, I think, pretty easily. He got lost out there, though, spun around a couple of times, and at the last second reached out. The ball dropped right next to him. A big break for St. Francis, and the good legs of Schoonover allow him to make it all the way to third base in front of Dolan Nicholson. Nicholson takes ball 1 outside from Gertine. Dolan Nicholson gets the start in center field today and moves all the way up to number 2 in the batting order. On the season, he's a .227 hitter as he pops this ball up on the infield. Easy play for Nathan Moonen, the third baseman who retires Nicholson. Schoonover stays at third base, 1 out in the inning. It's a big first out by Gertine. Both teams in the first inning have gotten a man to third base with nobody out. Olivet Nazarene was unable to score in their opportunity, and now St. Francis will have another chance with 2 more outs to go, and Joe McGuire steps to the plate. McGuire appearing in just his 16th game of the season. He's been out for the better part of the last month, but good to see him get back in the lineup today, DHing, a .386 batter this year. With a homer and 13 RBIs, he takes strike 1 from Gertine. St. Francis has gone 15-1 over their last 16 games, and the majority of that has been without McGuire in there. Ground ball to the shortstop. Schoonover is going to try to score, and the throw goes to first base, so he does. McGuire is retired 6-3, but Travis Schoonover crosses the plate and makes it a 1-0 score. St. Francis takes the early lead. Nice work by McGuire, putting the bat on the ball, doing what he had to do to get that run in. St. Francis does not waste their man getting to third base with nobody out. Here's Anthony Ferran. Ferran takes a power hack and misses for strike 1. Anthony Ferran at .478 has 4 homers, 27 RBIs this year. The reigning CCAC Player of the Week. He's got a couple of those trophies on his shelf. Check swing foul off to the right side for strike 2. And if he has a good weekend, he could be on his way to another one. He already has a 4-hit game earlier this week, and now he comes up with 2 outs and the bases empty in his first at-bat today. The 0-2 pitch misses the outside corner for ball 1. Anthony Ferran is slugging a whopping .722. His on-base percentage .542. He hits this ball high in the air out to deep left center field. Long run back, R.W. Reno, but Reno gets to the spot and makes the catch. Ferran got under it a little bit, and he is out number 3 to end the first inning. But a good first inning for St. Francis. Travis Schoonover's leadoff triple leads to a run, and as we head to the second, it's 1-0 in favor of the home team. 1-0 St. Francis after an inning of play. Despite a pair of hits, Olivet Nazarene did not score in the first. They bat in the second with Jacob Boltice leading things off. Boltice takes the first pitch from Sandoval for ball 1. Jacob Boltice on the season hitting a resounding .395. He's got a homer, 15 RBIs. It'll be a tough out for Sandoval today. So he lifts this ball into shallow right. Travis Schoonover comes in, and he's out number 1. Well, I stand by my statement. He'll be a difficult out throughout the day. First out this inning, though, is easy. 3 straight retired by Sandoval, and here's Braden Payne. First 2 batters reached on sharp singles for Olivet. They had runners at the corners with nobody out in the first inning, but an ill-advised base running decision by Ryan Campbell on a shallow fly out to right led to a double play. So the first pitch to Braden Payne is taken for strike 1. Campbell tried to score when Schoonover made the catch coming in, only about 20 feet or so beyond the infield boundaries. That ball is pushed into right field, foul, and out of play. It's 0-2. Campbell was thrown out by 15 or so feet at home plate. The throw was a little bit up the line, but Rada was able to get the tag on him. And that really turned around Angel Sandoval's fortunes in the first inning. He got a fly out from Tyler Fisher. And now he retires the leadoff man in the second as he misses to Braden Payne. The count is 1-2. St. Francis capitalized on a defensive miscue from Olivet Nazarene left fielder Alex Campy in the bottom of the first, leading to a run as Payne swings awkwardly for strike 3, 2 down. That pitch rode up and in on Braden Payne. He looked almost like he was trying to fight it off, just make a little contact there with 2 strikes, and he wasn't able to do so. So he is the first strikeout victim of Angel Sandoval's today. That's his 32nd strikeout of the season in 43-plus innings pitched. 2 down, and the batter is Logan Matson. Matson takes a big cut for strike 1. Logan Matson on the season, hitting at .333, 16 RBIs. He's got 4 doubles, a pair of triples, no home runs. Again, Olivet doesn't hit very many as a team. Nobody's got more than 1. Matson pops it up, shallow center field. Going out is Wolf, coming in Dolan Nicholson. He makes the call and puts it away. The inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers in the second. 5 in a row retired by Angel Sandoval. We go to the bottom of the inning. 1-0 St. Francis. One 0 St. Francis after an inning and a half. Fighting Saints come to bat in the second inning with Jake Lasota, Josh Tesh, and John Peterson. Jonathan Wolf to follow. This is the J section in the lineup. 4 straight players have names that start with that particular letter. I don't know how that corresponds to success on the ball field. We'll see if it happens here in the second inning. Lasota moves to number 5 in the order, batting for the first time today. He takes ball 1 from Tyler Gertine. He's been batting third for the most part the last several weeks with Joe McGuire out, but McGuire slides back to 3 today. Lasota drops behind Anthony Ferran. He swings through a strike to even the count. He is a .315 hitter this year, 14 RBIs, 7 extra base hits, and 73 at-bats. He takes a strike. The count is 1-2. It's good for a .409 on-base percentage and a .411 slugging average for Lasota this year. He waves at this one and just barely tips it to stay alive. Pitch out of the strike zone. Lasota protecting with 2 strikes on him. Just able to get the edge of the bat on the tip of that baseball. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tyler Gertine gets the sign in, goes into the windup, and delivers. And Lasota, again, just tips it to stay alive. Good at bat going for Jake Lasota. Saints scored in the first inning when Schoonover tripled, and McGuire knocked him in on a ground ball. Looking to get the leadoff man on for the second consecutive inning. Getting that leadoff base runner in the first made all the difference. So Lasota takes strike 3 over the inside corner, 1 away. Lasota turned away from that ball. He thought it was well off the inside corner. Glanced back to the home plate umpire after the strike was called to get a little clarification on it. Didn't particularly like the call, but he is out number 1. He's the first strikeout victim of Tyler Gertine today. Gertine strikes out better than a batter an inning for the year as Josh Tesh does not strike out. He pops the first pitch up onto the infield. Playable for Braden Payne. The first baseman makes the grab. Tesh is retired on 1 pitch. 2 outs in the inning. 5 in a row set down by Gertine, and really probably should be 6 in a row. Schoonover tripled. He's the only guy to reach base so far today, but that was on a misplay in left field by Alex Campbell, who just didn't track the ball very well. Here's John Peterson taking ball 1 down low. Peterson, the starting second baseman for the Fighting Saints all year, is hitting .247, 7 RBIs. He's been swinging a hot bat lately as he fouls it back to even the count at 1. That average was hovering around the 200 mark for much of the early going this season, and now pushing it up close to 250. Trying to get on base with 2 outs in the second inning. He drills it out to left field. Campy goes back. He's got a beat on this one, and he makes the catch. Hard hit ball by Peterson, but right at Campy. And the inning comes to a close, and Campy now realizes there are 3 outs as he starts to trot in. 6 in a row retired by Gertine. We head to the third. 1-0 St. Francis. Top of the third inning. Haven't seen a base runner in a while as Jake Bizkillas leads off the top of the third inning for Olivet against Angel Sandoval. Sandoval's first pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. First 2 batters of the game reached for Olivet, back-to-back singles. Since then, Sandoval's retired 5 straight. The first batter of the game reached for St. Francis, a leadoff triple for Travis Schoonover, and since then, 6 straight have been set down. Fouled away by Bizkillas. It's 0-2. There was a double play as part of Sandoval's 5 straight retired as well. Meanwhile, one of the 6 in a row retired by St. Francis ended up with an RBI. Fouled away, still 0-2. So it's 1-0, the Fighting Saints lead as Bizkillas leads off the third inning for Olivet. Trying to start a rally here and get them on the board for the first time. .333 hitter. Bizkillas has 14 hits and 42 at-bats. He is brushed back by a fastball up and in. 1-2. 2 doubles, 1 homer, 13 RBIs for a guy who's been one of the best hitters for the Tigers in limited action this year. 1-2 pitch. Taken outside for a ball, and the count evens up. 2-2. Bizgale is a freshman from Valencia, California. I'm sure enjoying this Midwest April weather so far this baseball season. He drives this ball to deep left field, chasing Jake Lasota back a little bit. Lasota is able to make the grab in front of the track for out number 1. The ball was hit hard by Bizgale. I thought it was hit a little bit harder than it actually was. Didn't carry very well, and Lasota had a pretty easy time with it. 1 up, 1 down in the 3rd. It's a dreary day today. In fact, it's been a pretty dreary last couple of months. So anybody from Valencia, California probably hasn't appreciated it too much since baseball season began back in February. Here's Alex Campy. He takes ball 1 low. Campy, the number 9 hitter and left fielder, hitting .242 for the year with 6 runs batted in. It's supposed to be a very nice weekend. Saints and the Tigers play a doubleheader tomorrow in Bourbonnais. Should be in the mid-60s and sunny for that. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Not terrible today. Temperature in the upper 50s. With cloud cover all over, but no rain in the forecast. Fingers crossed on that one. There have been reports, unconfirmed, that the sun may make an appearance at some point today. Hasn't happened yet. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Campy. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 3rd inning. Saints by a run early. They scored just 3 batters into the game, into their game at least. Bottom of the 1st inning. 3 batters into the actual game, the top of the 1st inning. There had been 2 hits and a double play for Olivet. Ball high, 2-2. Campy has the number 2 on his back in gold. Purple uniform tops for Olivet today. The Saints are in their brown uniforms with their home white pants. Swing and a miss. 2nd strikeout of the ball game for Angel Sandoval. He puts Campy back to the bench. 2 down, 7 in a row retired. And the batter is Ryan Campbell. First couple of pitches from Sandoval just didn't look comfortable. Ball wasn't really going where he wanted it to, but ever since he got that double play on Nathan Moonen's shallow fly out to right field, he has been in control, throwing seemingly nothing but strikes and not getting any hard contact against him, or at least very little of it. Campbell takes strike 1 from Angel Sandoval. Ryan Campbell singled on a 2-0 pitch out to left field in the 1st inning and was later thrown out at the plate. There's a chopper down the 3rd base line. It's foul, and he's behind 0-2. Sandoval looking for his 2nd consecutive 1-2-3 inning. Ryan Campbell steps out of the batter's box and now digs back in. Sandoval gets the sign from Kevin Rada. The right-hander winds up and fires. It's a high pop-up, foul to the right side. That ball is well out of play, and it's still 0-2. Reno is on deck. He'll bat if Campbell reaches base. The 0-2 pitch. Line drive to the left side, gloved on a couple of hops by the shortstop Jonathan Wolf. Off the backhand, his throw to first is low, but a great pick by Anthony Ferran ends the inning. 8 straight set down by Angel Sandoval. He's got another 1-2-3 inning behind him. Good defense behind him on that play. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0, St. Francis leads. 1-0 St. Francis in the bottom of the third inning. Jonathan Wolf, Kevin Rada, Travis Schoonover are due up against Tyler Gertine. Gertine's first pitch to Wolf is swung on and missed. 0-1. Wolf, the number 8 hitter for the Fighting Saints today, is hitting 185 this year. 3 doubles, a homer, 15 RBIs. The 0-1 offering misses low and away. The count is even. Wolf has primarily been a third baseman. Today he is the shortstop. Getting his first look at the Olivet ace. He bounces it foul to the left side, 1-2. Gertine entered play today with a 1.83 ERA in 7 starts. So he's been magnificent this year. 44 1/3 innings pitched, 9 more than anybody else on the ball club. He misses for a ball, and the count is 2-2. Gertine is only a sophomore. Check swing, the ball misses outside, full count. He's from Bourbonnais, Illinois, so grew up right down the street from Olivet Nazarene, and now he's playing for his hometown team and dominating so far in his college career. Wolf grounds it to the third base side, again foul, just by a little bit this time, still 3-2. Wolf will see a 7th pitch from Gertine. First time that these two teams have matched up this year. St. Francis currently ranks first in the CCAC as Wolf knocks it into center field. That's a base hit. Not a hard hit line drive, but he got it over the head of the shortstop Ryan Campbell and dropped it in front of R.W. Reno in center field. Second hit of the ball game for the Fighting Saints, and it's the first base runner for either team since the first inning. Here's Kevin Rada. Overall in the game, the last 12 batters had been retired. And 14 of the last 15 had been retired overall between the two pitchers before Jonathan Wolf's single. Kevin Rada bunts it down the first base line. That's a foul ball for strike 1. Rada is making just his 8th start of the season behind the plate. Hasn't had a lot of success batting. 2 for 20 on the year with a couple of RBIs. He has struck out 5 times. Junior from Venezuela. Got a lot more playing time a year ago. The throw goes to first base and Wolf heads back. Transfer Adam Cebulka has done a nice job doing the catching for St. Francis for most of this year. Rada pushes the bunt foul again, and the count is 0-2. Kevin Rada does not have a successful sacrifice this year. He's trying to change that now. But with an 0-2 count, I'm not so sure we'll see him bunting again against Gertine. Throw to first base and back in very quickly as Wolf wasn't taking much of a lead there. No balls and 2 strikes on the number 9 batter. He takes a ball off the outside corner. It's 1-2. The Saints are 11-1 in CCAC play this year. Again, they are leading the league so far. Olivet Nazarene a few spots behind them. They're in 3rd place at 8-2. Rada swings away on 0-2 and fouls it back, on 1-2 rather. Fouls it back. It's still 1-2. He was bunting on the first 2 pitches. Seems 2 strikes. The sacrifice call has been called off. There's a ball outside, 2-2. Good patience by St. Francis batters so far this inning. Gertine has already thrown 12 pitches here in the 3rd. There's nobody out yet. He only threw 9 pitches in the 2nd. He only threw 10 pitches in the 1st. He got 3 outs in both of those innings. They're making him work here in the 3rd. Runner on first base. Nobody down. 2-2 on Rada. The right-hander, Gertine, is set. The pitch misses high. Another full count. This is just the 2nd time this year that St. Francis has had to go up against a team with a winning CCAC record. Or at least a team that's got a currently winning record in the CCAC. However, there are only 4 teams in the conference right now that are above 500. St. Francis and Olivet are two of them. St. Xavier and Robert Morris are the others. 3-2. Rada takes ball 4 high. He comes from 0-2 behind to draw the walk. For Kevin Rada, it's the second walk taken this year. And there are 2 men on base with nobody out for the top of the order. Travis Schoonover's turn to hit. Schoonover is 1 for 1 with a triple and a run scored. Pinch runner over at first base for Kevin Rada. It's Noah Carraro doing the running now. It's a courtesy runner for the catcher. Schoonover can extend the lead with a base hit here. 1-0 Saints lead. Runners at first and second. A swing and a miss, and the count is 0-1. Travis Schoonover hit his 3rd triple of the season back in the first inning. He scored on a Joe McGuire groundout. Saints have just 2 hits so far, but one of them scored, and the other is standing at second base right now with nobody out. So a chance to get both of them in. Gertine steps off the rubber. The shortstop Ryan Campbell was creeping in behind Jonathan Wolf at second base there, begging for a pickoff throw. Gertine didn't give it to him, but he did step off and call time. Now the 0-1 to Schoonover is in the dirt. A good block by Jake Bizkalis. And the count is 1-1. Righty versus lefty. The next pitch. Swung on and hit in the air. Shallow left field. Campy comes in. And Campy makes the catch. Jonathan Wolf has to stay at second base. 1 away. Still 2 runners on base. Here's Dolan Nicholson. Angel Sandoval, the starting pitcher for St. Francis today, is off to a strong start. Fighting Saints are trying to give him a better cushion here. With 2 on, 1 down. Nicholson is 0 for 1. He popped out to third base in the first inning. Nicholson takes a strike at the knees. Dolan Nicholson at .227 hitter on the season. Making his 16th start of the year. Bailey Schultz, the more typical starting center fielder, is on the bench this afternoon. Ball low. The count is even at 1. Nicholson is trying to at least advance the runners here. Keep things going for the heart of the order. McGuire, Ferran, and Lasota coming up behind him. He wants to make sure they bat with runners on base. Nicholson is not your typical run producer. He does not have an RBI this year. Not that this would be a bad time to pick one up. Just that's not usually his job. He's more looking to move them up rather than get them in. So he drives this ball pretty well hit, but out to right field foul. And the count is 1-2. Well out of play. Pitcher's count now on Dolan Nicholson. It's been a tough inning for Tyler Gertine so far. He is, though, potentially just a ground ball away from ending it. 1-2. Pickoff throw to second base, and Jonathan Wolf goes back standing up. Relatively close play at second base. Wolf had it pegged immediately, knew that they were going to make the pickoff throw, and so he wasn't in a huge hurry to get back to the bag. Nearly cost him, but he was clearly on the base before the tag was applied. Now the pitch to Nicholson in the dirt. Doesn't get far enough away for the runners to advance. Throw down to first base, and Rada is out, or Carraro rather. Back to first base, and he was called safe at first. Misread the call from the umpire, so safe at first. Count 2-2 on Nicholson. Close play at first. He ran a good third of the way down the baseline as that pitch was in the dirt. Had to follow the runner in front of him. Wolf didn't go, so he couldn't. Fouled back by Nicholson, still 2-2. One out, 2 on. A single and a walk began the inning. Carrara, the pinch runner's at first. Wolf is at second. 2-2 pitch. Nicholson lines it into center field. That hangs up in the air. And the catch is made by R.W. Reno. 2 down. Solid contact from Nicholson, but just didn't get down fast enough. Reno is able to make the grab. Here's McGuire. McGuire is 0 for 1 with an RBI. He scored the only run of the game, or I should say he drove in the only run of the game. Schoonover tripled to lead off the first inning. McGuire's the one who brought him in on a ground out. Won't be able to bring home a run that way in this at-bat, but a base hit would score at least one, almost certainly, with 2 outs, and the runner's going on contact. McGuire takes ball 1. They were at first and second with nobody out. 2 down now. The 1-0 pitch. McGuire swings and misses. It's 1-1. It's been a tough inning for Tyler Gertine. He's thrown 25 pitches. He's allowed a couple of base runners. But he's 1 out away from getting out of it without allowing any runs. 1-1. Soft line drive to the right side. Leaping and making the grab is the second baseman, Logan Matson. And the inning is over. Wasn't hit hard by McGuire, but it looked like for a moment it might get over the head of Matson. But he was able to leave his feet and pull it in. Nice play by the Olivet infielder. 3 straight retired to end the inning and leave 2 men on base by Tyler Gertine. We head to the 4th. It's still 1-0. R.W. Reno leads off the top of the 4th for Olivet Nazarene, trailing by a run. First pitch to Reno, misses outside, ball 1. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a stolen base. He was stranded at third base back in the first inning. Since his single in the first, nobody has reached base for Olivet. Ball outside, 2-0. This is a big offensive club, Olivet Nazarene, hitting .307 as a team this year. They score over 7 runs per game. There's a high fly, deep right field. Travis Schoonover back on the run to the warning track. Schoonover's got room to make the catch. Just a few feet in front of the wall. He pulls it in. Reno is retired. A deep out, but the 9th consecutive out for Angel Sandoval. 1 away in the 4th. Nathan Moonen is the batter. Moonen's at bat back in the first inning seemed to turn the game around for Sandoval after the first 2 batters hit it hard and reached with singles. There were runners at second and third, nobody out. Moonen hit a fly out to shallow right field. Schoonover threw Ryan Campbell out trying to score on the play, and nobody's reached since. And it looks like that'll continue as this ball's popped into shallow right. John Peterson backpedals and makes the catch. Moonen retired on the first pitch, 2 down in the 4th inning. That brings up Tyler Fisher. Fisher, 0 for 1. He flew the first pitch he saw in the first inning out to center field. So now he bats for the second time. Fisher hitting just .257. One of the few batters in Olivet's lineup below 300. He takes ball 1 downstairs. But he does lead the team with 7 doubles. And he's got 13 RBIs as well. He's also taken a team-high 15 walks. He takes a strike here. It's 1-1. 2 outs, nobody on base. 10 straight set down by Sandoval. 1-0 St. Francis in the top of the 4th inning. Ball up and in. 2-1 the count. If Fisher reaches, Jacob Boltice will bat next. The 2-1 offering righty to righty. Swung on and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sandoval, who's got 2 strikeouts in the ballgame today, is 1 strike away from finishing off the side in the 4th inning. Looking for his 3rd straight perfect frame. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Just missed the outside corner. Ball 3. Count goes full. It's the first 3-ball count of the game offered by Angel Sandoval. But as I said, Tyler Fisher, a very patient hitter, leads the team with 15 walks. And he's trying to find his way on base one way or another again here. Payoff pitch. Misses in the same spot for ball 4, and Fisher is aboard. First walk issued by Sandoval today, and the first base runner for Olivet Nazarene since the first inning. The tying run is aboard. Here is Jacob Boltice. Boltice, like Fisher before him, wears the pant legs up high to the knees, showing off white striped purple socks that go all the way up. And Boltice takes ball 1 high. 3 straight misses from Sandoval. Fisher drew his 16th walk of the season. Nobody else on the team's got more than 10 of them. His on-base percentage well over 400 despite hitting just .257. Boltice grounds it to 3rd, right at Josh Tesh. The throw across the diamond is in time to retire Boltice and end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 walk, and a man left on first. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. St. Francis 1, Olivet nothing. Anthony Ferran leads things off in the bottom of the 4th for St. Francis. He's 0 for 1. Flew out his first time up, but his team leads 1-0. So he takes ball 1 high from Tyler Gertine. Gertine retired 6 of the first 7 batters he faced. Gave up back-to-back base runners to lead off the 3rd. Saints had him at 1st and 2nd with nobody out, but the next 3, the top 3 in the batting order, were all retired. They did not score in the 3rd inning. Strike called on Anthony Ferran. The count is 2-1. Ferran, Lesota, and Tesh due to hit against Gertine in the 4th. Ball 3 outside. Gertine has walked 1 today. That was Kevin Rada last inning. Good hitters count here on Ferran. And he takes ball 4. Anthony Ferran is aboard to lead off the 4th inning. It's the 3rd time in 4 innings that St. Francis has gotten their leadoff man on. Kind of amazing when you consider that they've only had 4 total base runners, but they've had the leadoff man on 3 out of 4 times. Here's Jake Lasota. Brian Mahalik is a guy who likes to play with a bunt early in an inning when guys reach with no outs, but with Lasota in the box, I don't know that this would be the situation to see it. It's not on the first pitch as he takes ball 1 outside. Jake Lasota is 0 for 1. He struck out looking in the 2nd inning. Lasota is the only strikeout victim of Tyler Gertine today. Strike called, 1-1. Gertine's a very good strikeout pitcher. He entered play with 48 of them in 44 1/3 innings. But even though he's been effective today, only 1 strikeout in 3 innings. Lasota swings and misses. It's 1-2. Ferran at first base following the walk. Lasota is behind in the count, 1-2. Gertine throws over to first base. And Lasota dives back to the bag, or Ferran rather, dives back to the bag. Lasota's still in the batter's box. It would have been a heck of a dive if he got back to the bag. I also wondered why he was diving. He takes strike 3 on the breaking ball over the outside corner, and he is out number 1. Second strikeout of the game for Gertine. It's the 2nd time he's gotten Lasota, both times looking. And that brings up Josh Tesh. 2 very different pitches. He thought that the first one was off the plate inside. This time it's over the outer third of the plate that he's rung up. Josh Tesh bats for the 2nd time. Ferran dives back to first base again on another throw over in his direction. Anthony Ferran can run a little bit. He's got 2 stolen bases and 3 attempts for the season. First pitch to Josh Tesh. Swung on and driven out to deep center field. Backing up is Reno. Reno pulls up and straight away center and makes the grab. A deep fly from Josh Tesh. Probably went about 370 feet or so, but it's 400 to center field here, and so he flies out. Reno spun around on that ball a little bit. He was looking over the wrong shoulder initially, but he was able to adjust in time to make the play. 2 outs in the 4th inning. Ferran still stuck over at first base for the time being. Here's John Peterson. Peterson made some strong contact in the 2nd inning, but he lines out straight to left field. He foul tips the first pitch into the catcher's glove here for strike 1. Bottom of the 4th inning, St. Francis 1-0. They scored in the 1st inning on an RBI ground out from Joe McGuire. Throw to first base. Ferran this time back to the bag standing up. He takes just 1 step. Nothing and 1 on Peterson. He fouls it back off the screen. And the count is 0-2. Runner on first base, 2 outs. It's 0-2 on Peterson. Gertine looking to put an end to this 4th inning. He throws over to first base, and Ferran heads back to the bag. Ferran's been over at first ever since he led off the inning with a walk. Now Gertine trying to get 3 in a row. And he misses high for ball 1 on Peterson. He was able to do it in the 3rd inning. Retire 3 in a row, that is, with runners on base. There were 2 on in that instance, and neither one of them advanced. 1-2 pitch. Misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ferran at first. Here's the pitch from Gertine. Swung on and missed, strike 3. 2nd strikeout of the inning for Gertine. 3rd of the ball game. And despite the leadoff walk, the Saints don't score in the 4th. We go to the 5th inning. Still 1-0. Saints on top. After 4 innings of play, St. Francis leads Olivet Nazarene 1-0 on a Friday afternoon in Joliet, Illinois. Fighting Saints trying to improve to 12-1 in conference. They're trying to improve to 16-1 since March 13th. Braden Payne leads things off against Angel Sandoval, who hasn't allowed a hit since the first inning. And Payne swings through strike one. He's 0 for 1, struck out swinging in the second inning. Sandoval's run of 10 consecutive batters retired was snapped when Tyler Fisher drew a 2-out walk in the top of the 4th inning, but Jacob Boltice grounded out to end the inning. Ball 1 on Payne. The count goes even. St. Francis's long winning streak began on March 13th and ended on March 31st. They had taken 12 in a row before falling in Game 1 of a doubleheader last week to Robert Morris, 2-0. Fouled off to the right side. It's 1-2. It was a good start to conference play. They opened things up against Calumet St. Joseph and then Indiana South Bend. Those were their first 5 games. That ball drilled foul to the left side. Still 1-2. And those 2 teams, Cal St. Joe's and IUSB, so far in conference play, have gone a combined 6-20. So in a way, it was a soft landing. Of course, we know in baseball anybody can beat anyone on any given day. But both of those teams really got off to slow starts this year, so the Saints were able to beat up on the bottom of the conference, at least right out of the gate. Inside, and it hit him. Braden Payne gets hit on the elbow by a 1-2 pitch from Angel Sandoval, and the leadoff batter reaches for Olivet here in the 5th. That's a big pitch. Sandoval was ahead of him. And in a tight ball game like this, any base runner can prove to make a difference. Sandoval now has to pitch with a runner on, something he has very rarely had to do today. It's happened against only 3 batters out of the 15 that he's faced. Matson is the 4th out of 16. He fouls away the first pitch for strike 1. Logan Matson is 0 for 1. Popped out to shallow center field in the 2nd. 2 things that St. Francis knew that they were going to have to prove as the season went on. Conference season, that is. Matson takes a ball high, 1-1. They had proven that they could beat up on some of these teams here at Route 66 Stadium, but they had to prove that they can beat some of the upper echelon teams in the CCAC, and they had to prove that they could win on the road. So far, so good. They played Robert Morris last week. Robert Morris, a top 4 team in the conference, and they looked pretty good against the Eagles. Ball high, 2-1. Even though they dropped Game 1 of that doubleheader last week, they won the 2nd game, and then they decisively won the following evening, 6-0. They actually outscored Robert Morris in the 3-game series, 14-8, and they took 2 out of 3 games. One of those games was on the road. It had been the first road game in nearly a month after they played 14 straight at home. Fouled back by Matson, 2-2. And then on Tuesday, the Saints went to Trinity International, and they picked up an easy win against the Trojans, 13-3. They halted play after only 7 innings because of the size of the lead. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Logan Matson. Sandoval's next pitch misses high, 3-2. Payne is at first base after he was hit by a pitch. 3-2 now on Matson. Big pitch coming up from Angel Sandoval. Rada drops down the sign. Sandoval checks the runner at first base. He comes set, and time is called by Logan Matson. Jake Bizkalis is on deck. Alex Campy to follow him, barring a double play somewhere. There is a runner at first base with nobody out. 3-2 pitch to Matson. Swung on, grounded left side, and it'll sneak through. That's an infield base hit for Logan Matson. Jonathan Wolf was covering second base on the play, so there was a huge hole on the left side. He sprinted to his right, dove, and stopped the ball, but he was in shallow left field at the time. And he had absolutely no opportunity to get anybody. So a base hit for Matson, the first hit for Olivet since the first inning, and just their third of the game. Here's Jake Bizgalis. Bizgalis is 0 for 1. He flew out to left field in the third inning. Cornfielder's moving in. He's not bunting on the first pitch, which is taken for strike one. Ferran was standing awfully close to Bizgalis before he had any indication of bunting the ball here. He never squared up at any point. Ferran coming in with the pitch again, though, as is the third baseman Josh Tesh, although he's starting out much more shallow with the runner at second base. And there's a ball inside, 1-1. Again, Bizgalis was not looking to bunt, and this time with a 1-1 count, Ferran backs up. Still playing in from his normal position, but he's standing just behind the runner and preparing himself to charge if need be. 2 on, nobody out, the 1-1 pitch. Check swing on a ball low and away. They'll appeal down to second base. He didn't go. Count is 2-1. This fifth inning is shaping up much like the third inning did for St. Francis's offense. Tyler Gertine had been cruising along, and then in the third, a single, a walk. There were 2 on with nobody out. He was able to bounce back and not allow any runs that inning. See if Sandoval can do the same. Ball outside, 3-1. Rather than a single and a walk this inning, it's been a single and a hit batter. Apparently, Bizgalis has been called out on strikes. So I had the call wrong there. It was actually strike, not a ball. Apparently I had the count wrong as well. 2 strikes on him, and he is rung up. So he is strikeout victim number 3 of Angel Sandoval today, and that's a huge first out in the inning. He didn't like it. He stood in the batter's box for a little while, talked with the umpire before finally walking back to the dugout. Here's Alex Campy. Campy shows bunt, and he pulls the bat back and takes a ball. So after all the charging Anthony Ferran did with Bizgalis in the batter's box, he ended up not bunting. He wasn't planning for it with Campy up, playing behind the runner. Campy did show bunt on the first pitch, though he ended up taking it for a ball. Count is 1-0 on the number 9 batter. Campy struck out swinging in the third. Squares up to bunt again, and he bunts straight through it. Pickoff throw down to second base and not able to get Payne. Count is 1-1 on Campy. One out, 2 on. Hit by pitch, a single. That's how the inning began. Now it's 1-1 on Campy. A pickoff throw to first, and there's out number 2. Matson is picked off of first base. And that's a huge second out recorded by Angel Sandoval. Still a runner in scoring position. It's the tying run. But now with 2 down, if Sandoval can retire Campy, he will have pitched out of a big jam, just as Gertine did in the bottom of the third inning, when the Saints had 2 on with nobody out, and just as Sandoval did in the first. Campy's still looking to bunt, even with 2 outs now, and he takes a ball up and in. In the first inning, Olivet had runners at first and third with nobody out and didn't score. Here in the fifth, they had him at first and second with nobody out. And Sandoval is trying to prevent them from scoring again. 2-1. High fly, right side, foul territory. Ferran chases it, as does Schoonover. Both men watch it land out of play. Count is 2-2. Alex Campy was involved in one of the most critical plays of the game so far defensively. Back in the first inning, he misplayed a ball that turned into a triple, and that led to the first and so far only run of the game. Now he's trying to make up for it on the offensive side. He can get that run back with a base hit. 2 outs. Payne will be going on contact from second. It's 2-2 on Alex Campy. Sandoval's pitch. Swung on and foul tipped. Just got a piece of that one to stay alive. Still 2-2. This has been one of the tougher innings of the game so far for Sandoval. I guess that's not saying much. They only had one base runner over the previous 3 innings prior to this one. But he's 1 strike away from putting an end to it. This will be another 2-2 pitch to Alex Campy. Sandoval takes a long look in at his catcher, and now he's ready to go. Fouled back again. He's gotten just enough of the last 2 pitches to keep this at bat alive. Still 2-2. If Campy does reach base, Ryan Campbell, the shortstop, will bat next. Sandoval is set for the 2-2. Righty versus righty. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. He got him to end the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts and a pickoff as well. And nobody scores for Olivet in the 5th, despite the hit by pitch and the single that began the inning. We're halfway through this game. St. Francis leads Olivet Nazarene 1-0. One nothing St. Francis as we move into the bottom of the 5th inning. Jonathan Wolf, Kevin Rada, Travis Schoonover due up. Wolf is 1 for 1 with a single. One of only 2 hits so far in the ball game for St. Francis. He swings the first pitch of the inning and flies it into center field. R.W. Reno started back, now comes in and makes the catch. An out recorded in the bottom of the 5th inning on the very first pitch from Tyler Gertine. Gertine's been sharp today. He's retired 6 of the last 7 batters he's faced. He's only given up 4 base runners total through 4 innings. Here's Kevin Rada. Rada is one of those 4. He walked back in the 3rd inning. Ball 1 on Rada this time. Saints scored in the 1st when Travis Schoonover tripled. Joe McGuire grounded out to score him. Called strike. It's 1-1. That's the only offense we've had today. Neither team has so much as gotten a man to 3rd base ever since then. Ball low. It's 2-1. Based on the matchup today on paper, you figured there's a pretty good chance we'd see a pitcher's duel. Sandoval going against Gertine. 3-1 now on Rada. We have certainly gotten that. Probably better than advertised, as the score remains just 1-0 all the way into the bottom of the 5th. Count is 3-2 on Rada. Or no, it's ball 4. I thought the umpire had called a ball. At least he didn't physically indicate that it was a strike. But Rada just stood in the box, apparently unaware of what the count was. And now he's given first base, so he walks for the 2nd time today. It's the 3rd walk issued by Gertine. And again, Rada departs, and the courtesy runner, Noah Carraro, comes in. Here's Travis Schoonover. 1 for 2 with a triple and a run scored. He flew out to left his last time up. Schoonover swings the first pitch and rolls it weakly down the first base line, picked up by the pitcher Gertine, who flips to first and gets the out. Carraro advances to second base. 1-3 on the putout there. 2 down in the inning. And the batter is Dolan Nicholson. Nicholson is 0 for 2. He's popped out to third and lined out to center. He bats with a runner at second base and 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nicholson swings the first pitch, fouls it to the left. It's out of play. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouled away to the left side again. And the count moves to 0-2. Gertine 1 strike away from ending the inning. He was able to end last inning on a strikeout. He's got 3 of them through 4 2/3 innings so far today. Looking to strand Noah Carraro at second base. Line drive to the right side. That's down for a base hit. Carraro waved around third base. Jacob Bultice comes up throwing, and the throw is up the line. Carraro scores, and the Saints double their lead. It's a 2-out RBI single for Dolan Nicholson. 2-0, St. Francis. First RBI of the year for Nicholson. On his 11th hit, they've all been singles. The courtesy runner is able to do his job, as Kevin Rada, the catcher, did not run for himself. If he had been, I don't know if he would have scored. A good throw would have beaten Carraro. The throw was not good from Bultice. It was short and up the third base line. Pickoff throw to first, and Nicholson is out before Joe McGuire can even see a pitch. So the inning is over. Nicholson goes out on the bases, but he came up with an RBI single to score a run to get on the bases. And so as we head to the 6th, St. Francis leads Olivet 2-0. Two to nothing. St. Francis has added to their lead with a run in the bottom of the 5th, and now Olivet will send the top of their order up for the 3rd time against Angel Sandoval, trying to get themselves back into it. Ryan Campbell is 1 for 2 with a single today. He swings to the first pitch and lines it to center field. He's 2 for 3. He's got 2 of his team's 4 hits. Leadoff man reaches for Olivet for the 2nd straight inning. Good speed aboard in front of RW Reno. Campbell smoked that ball straight up the middle. It was just to the left, or just to the right, I should say, of Angel Sandoval. It's just to his left. Tried to stick up his glove and make the catch, but it was hit a little bit too hard for him. He wasn't able to react quickly enough. So it went just over his mitt, and then out over second base as well. RW Reno takes ball 1. Reno singled in the first inning. He flew out to right field in the fourth inning. That was as part of Angel Sandoval's best stretch of the game. He retired 10 in a row at one stage. There's a strike on Reno. The count is even, 1-1. Campbell over at first base. When he was on first in the first inning, I talked about his stolen base prowess a lot. He never went. See if he decides to try to steal second base here. Reno drives it in the air, right field, backing up Schoonover. Schoonover makes the catch. One away. Campbell has to stay at first. Reno now is 1 for 3. He swung the bat pretty well in his last two at-bats. Deep flies to right field, but Schoonover has been able to catch them both. Here's Nathan Moonen. Moonen is 0 for 2. He's flown out to shallow right field and popped out to second base. First pitch to Moonen, misses outside for ball 1. Campbell's at first. He singled. Reno flew out. Now it's Nathan Moonen trying to get something going for Olivet, trailing by their largest deficit of the day. It's just 2 runs. Still a game. There's a called strike. The count is 1-1. The Saints scored 1 in the first and 1 in the 5th inning. Olivet looks to respond here in the 6th. Angel Sandoval's had one of his better games of the year so far. Swing and a miss. The count is 1-2. It's kind of a rarity for Sandoval to start a 9-inning game. This is his 8th start of the year among his previous 7, or I should say it's his 8th appearance. It's his 7th start of the year. Among his previous 6 starts, he's got 5 complete games. And that's usually because he doesn't have to go quite as far to get it. Moonen takes the ball. The count is even. 2-2, 1 out, 1 on. Despite 5 complete games for Sandoval, no shutouts yet this year. And again, this is one of the most prolific offenses in the conference. Runner goes, pitch is taken outside for ball 3. The throw to second, in time. Campbell is caught stealing, 2 outs. Big throw by Kevin Rada. The bases are empty. Ryan Campbell is caught stealing for just the 2nd time this year. He had been 15 of 16. And now Sandoval is 1 strike away from ending the inning. Payoff pitch. He walked him. Moonen draws the free pass. It's the 2nd walk issued by Sandoval today. He's also hit 1 batter. The other one that he walked is Tyler Fisher, and Fisher steps up to the plate right now. Oh for 1 with a flyout. He's also walked once. He swings through the first pitch here for strike 1. Rada glares down at Moonen at first base, making sure he doesn't have any funny ideas. Doesn't make a throw there, but the point is taken. It's 0-1 on Fisher. Sandoval looks to first and now to the plate. He misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-0 St. Francis. Top of the 6th inning. Sandoval's gone the whole way so far. Nobody warming up in either bullpen. Swing and a miss from Fisher. The count is 1-2. Jacob Bultice waits in the on-deck circle. Fisher trying to keep the inning alive for him. Sandoval, though, is in good shape as he makes pickoff attempt down to first, not in time. Sandoval's got 1 pickoff today, and Kevin Rada just caught Ryan Campbell stealing on a close play at second. So the defensive game has been sharp for St. Francis today, getting extra outs. Ball high. There's a pickoff attempt down to first. It's in the dirt, deflected by Anthony Ferran. He keeps it on the infield and does not allow Moonen to advance. Not a good throw from the catcher that time, though. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-0 St. Francis. Olivet's got a runner at first following the Moonen walk. 2-2 on Fisher. Swung on and popped up on the infield. Behind second base, it's Peterson making the catch. The inning is over. 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs, 1 left. To the bottom of the 6th, it's 2-0 Fighting Saints. It's the heart of the order coming up for the Fighting Saints in the bottom of the 6th inning. They lead Olivet Nazarene 2-0. Joe McGuire, Anthony Ferran, Jake Lasota are due up this inning for the Saints. They were able to get back on the board last inning on a Dolan Nicholson RBI single. Now back at it offensively. McGuire takes a ball inside from Tyler Gertine. Gertine's been good through 5 innings. Not good enough so far, though. Not as good as Angel Sandoval. Ball outside, 2-0. McGuire's 0 for 2. But he does have an RBI. A soft line out to second his last time up. And that run-scoring ground out to short in the first. Here he takes a strike. The count is 2-1. The Saints are just 9 outs away from a victory. They'd like to add a few more runs here to make it more comfortable. McGuire takes another pitch. It's a strike, 2-2. This would be their 16th win in their last 17 games if they're able to hold on. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's in the dirt. 3-2. Gertine had a pretty easy time of it the first few innings, not so much since then. He's seen a lot of base runners. And he sees another one here as he misses inside. McGuire draws the leadoff walk. It's the 4th time today that St. Francis has had their leadoff man on base. And it's also the 4th time today that Tyler Gertine has walked somebody. Here's Anthony Ferran. Ferran is 0 for 1 with a walk. He's also flown to center. He takes ball 1 low. Ferran came into play today hitting .478. He's 0 for 1 today, though. He tries to get his average up to 500. It's a pretty unrealistic expectation of anybody. He'd have to get hits in his next 4 at-bats, I believe. His next 5 at-bats. It's not likely to happen. Ball high, 2-0. Which is not to say it can't happen. Here's the 2-0 pitch. 3 balls and no strikes on Anthony Ferran. Could be back-to-back walks for Gertine here after he put Joe McGuire on for free. Swinging on 3-0. Ferran fouls it back off the pole. Count is 3-1. Ferran got the green light there, but Gertine has been a little out of control these last few innings. He's walked 1 in 4 consecutive frames as Ferran shoots that ball to deep right center field. That ball over everybody's head. It rolls to the wall. Joe McGuire is being waved around third base and now held up at the last second. He runs through the stop sign. It's a good thing he does. No relay throw made. He comes all the way in to score from first base. A double from Anthony Ferran. It's 3-0 St. Francis. That stop sign came in at the absolute last second from Brian Mahalik. He had been waving him around. It looked like Olivet was going to have a play at the plate, but they didn't handle the relay throw well. And so the Saints score another run. Anthony Ferran has his 9th double and his 28th RBI this year. Nobody else on the team has more than 15. Still nobody out in the 6th. Jake Lasota swings the first pitch and fouls it back. Strike 1. Lasota is 0 for 2 today. He has struck out twice. Both times it's come looking. 2 of the 3 strikeouts in the ball game today for Gertine. Lasota looking to make up for that with an RBI right here. Ferran stands at second. The 0-1 pitch. That's in there for a strike. 0-2. The Saints have led this one since the bottom of the first inning. They haven't done a lot offensively, but they've done just enough. And these last few innings, they've been helped out by Gertine. Each of the last 2 runners to score reached base on walks. Lasota flies it out to deep center, but it's playable. R.W. Reno backs up, makes the grab. Ferran tags from second and slides safely into third base. It's a productive out for Lasota as he's able to get the runner over. Ferran's at third with 1 down for Josh Tesh. Tesh is 0 for 2. He's popped out and flown out. The fly out would be good here. The pop out would not. Infield staying back, it appears, for Olivet, so a ground out would be all right too. So they look to get this run in from third base. Ball outside, 1-0. In a pitcher's duel like this, every run seems huge, and indeed, the difference between 2-0 and 3-0 seems enormous. Suddenly the lead a little bit more comfortable for St. Francis. The difference between 3 and 4 would be enormous as well. 4-0 would seem like a blowout the way that this game is going. So the infield does now come in, and Tesh hits it in the air, foul to the right side, 1-1. They stayed back on the first pitch, but now they're playing in tight to try to cut down the run at the plate on a ground ball. Here's the 1-1. Popped up behind home plate and out of play. Count is 1-2. Gertine has not been his typical self in terms of strikeouts today. Just 3 of them through 5 and a third innings, but this is one spot in the ball game where he could really use it. 1-2 offering to Tesh. Hit in the air out to center field, not terribly deep. Reno comes in, makes the catch. Ferran tags. Here comes the throw to the plate. Anthony Ferran is safe. Close play at the plate. A good throw from Reno. Came into the catcher, Jake Bizkalis, on one hop. But Ferran was able to slide in just ahead of the tag. It's a sacrifice fly for Tesh and a 4-run lead for the Saints. Josh Tesh has his 13th RBI this year. Here's John Peterson with the bases empty. Peterson's 0 for 2. He's lined out hard to left, and he has struck out swinging. Both times to end an inning. This time he grounds it to short, and again will apparently end the inning as the throw from Campbell is in time The Saints are done in the 6th inning, but they score twice on a walk, a double, and a sacrifice fly. As we head to the 7th, our score, St. Francis 4, Olivet Nazarene, nothing. Top of the 7th inning, Angel Sandoval still going strong for St. Francis on the mound, and now he's got a little more protection. It was 1-0 for a long time. Now it's 4-0. As Sandoval faces 5, 6, and 7 in the Tigers' order. Jacob Boltais swings at the first pitch and lifts it foul to the right side, out of play for strike 1. Boltais is 0 for 2. He has flown to right. He's grounded to third. Facing Sandoval for the 3rd time here. Braden Payne on deck, Logan Matson to follow. There's a fly into center field. Drifting into right center, Dolan Nicholson makes the catch. And there is out number 1. Sandoval was dominant in the first few innings. He at one point retired 10 consecutive batters. He hasn't been in that kind of groove lately, but he's been able to pitch out of some trouble. Tigers have had multiple base runners in back-to-back innings, but have not scored, as they've left runners on now in 3 straight innings. They've had 3 base runners, though, thrown out on the bases. And that has killed the Tigers today, as Braden Payne takes ball 1 up and in. In the first inning, Ryan Campbell was thrown out at home plate, trying to score on a would-be sacrifice fly. There's a pop-up to shallow right. Schoonover comes in. Schoonover puts it away. Payton is retired, 2 down. In the 5th inning, Logan Matson was picked off of first base with 2 outs, or that was the 2nd out, I should say. And then last inning, Ryan Campbell was caught trying to steal second. So 3 different guys have been thrown out on the base paths, and that has killed Olivet's offensive momentum. They have just 4 hits in the ball game. Logan Matson steps in, takes strike 1 from Sandoval. Anytime, though, you're an offense and you're struggling, when you do get base runners, you really have to cherish them. Olivet Nazarene has not made the most of the guys they've had on today. There's a fly ball into shallow center. Nicholson comes racing in. He gets to the spot, makes the catch, and ends the inning. It's a 6-pitch, 1-2-3 7th inning, worked by Angel Sandoval. We'll head to the bottom of the frame, and at the stretch, our score is St. Francis 4, Olivet Nazarene 0. Saints lead the Tigers 4-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. They've added insurance in the last 2 frames. They'll try to make it 3 straight innings with at least a run, as Jonathan Wolf steps in and takes ball 1 low from Tyler Gertine, still on the mound for his 7th inning, at least the start of his 7th inning. There is a lefty warming up in the bullpen, so we'll see how long they stick with Gertine. Swing and a miss by Wolf. It's 1-1. Jonathan Wolf is 1 for 2. He singled in the 3rd. He flew out to center field in the 5th inning. Saints scored a run in the 1st. Held that 1-0 lead all the way into the bottom of the 5th inning when they tacked on 1 more. And then 2 runs scored on just 1 hit last inning. Ball outside, 2-1. Gertine has gotten himself into trouble. In each of the last 2 innings, he's walked a batter, and that batter has scored. He's walked 4 in the game, including 1 in each of the last 4 innings. Swing and a miss, 2-2. It's not as though St. Francis has been pounding the ball all game. They've only got 4 hits. That ball's fouled away, still 2-2. They got 4 hits and never more than 1 in a single inning. And despite that, they've got a 4-0 lead. They have been very opportunistic in this game. 2-2. Ball outside, 3-2. I talked about Olivet really not doing enough with the base runners they've had in this game. In that last inning, they haven't had a ton of them, but those that they have had on, they've been getting themselves thrown out a lot. Fouled away, still 3-2. Saints have had a player picked off as well. Noah Carraro was picked off at first in the 5th inning, but aside from that, they have maximized their opportunities. They've scored 4 runs. They've only left 3 on base. They've had 8 total base runners in the game. There's a pop-up on the left side of the infield. Caught by the shortstop Ryan Campbell. A short pop from Wolf. 1 down to start this 7th inning. Here's Kevin Rada. Rada has no official at-bat today. He's hitting just 100 for the season, 2 for 20. But he hasn't really had to swing the bat today. He's been up twice. He's walked twice. The number 9 hitter bats for the 3rd time today and swings at the first pitch unsuccessfully. Strike 1. Four to nothing St. Francis in the bottom of the 7th inning. Gertine hits the outside corner. It's 0-2. He's trying to retire the first 2 batters of an inning for just the 2nd time today. He had a 1-2-3 second. Other than that, he's been pitching with runners on base pretty much the whole time. He's pitching out of the stretch right now. Ball outside, 1-2. I'm trying to remember the first couple of innings of today's game. I didn't think he had been pitching out of the stretch with nobody on. But maybe I'm wrong about that. Swing and a miss. Rada goes down on strikes. 2 away. First strikeout since the 4th inning for Gertine. It's his 4th of the game. Here's Travis Schoonover. Pitcher warming up in the bullpen right now is Owen Oliver, lefty reliever. We'll see how much longer they stick with Gertine. Looks like not very much longer at all. Todd Reed, the head coach, is making his way out to the mound right now. And he may have thrown his last pitch of the day as Schoonover gets set to bat for the 4th time. Looks like we're going to see a change. Gertine was sharp early, struggled in the middle innings, and he departs with a 4-run deficit. We've got a pitching change, and I'll tell you about the new man after a break. 4-0 St. Francis in the 7th. 4-0 St. Francis, bottom of the 7th inning. 2 outs, nobody on. Travis Schoonover coming up against a new Olivet Nazarene pitcher. It's left-hander Owen Oliver, on for the 5th time this year. He has no record and a 5.79 ERA. In 4 2/3 innings, Oliver's allowed 3 runs on 6 hits. He's got 6 strikeouts. Hasn't walked anybody this year. Opponents are batting .333 against him. He comes into a pretty easy spot. Not that there's ever an easy spot, especially against a tough hitter like Travis Schoonover, but 2 outs, nobody on. This is about as soft a landing spot as any reliever will get. Schoonover is 1 for 3 today with a triple and a run scored. Left-handed pitcher, Oliver sets. The first toss to Schoonover is a breaking ball up and in, 1-0. Starting pitcher, Tyler Gertine, had just gone over 100 pitches for the game. Probably the reason I would assume he was taken out. He must have hit his limit because he had retired 5 batters in a row at the time that he was removed. Schoonover takes a strike. The count is even at 1. Overall in the ball game, Gertine went 6 2/3 and allowed 4 runs, all of them earned. Swing and a miss. The count is 1-2. He walked 4, he struck out 4, and he gave up 4 hits. 4 runs, of course, as well. A lot of 4s on the board for him. Ball low and outside, 2-2. And now he will rely on the bullpen, and more importantly, he will rely on his offense to let him off the hook for this loss. It would be the 3rd loss of the year for Tyler Gertine if he takes it. Ball off the outside corner. The count goes full. Oliver thought he had strike 3 and was ready to go back to the dugout there, but he didn't get the call in his favor. So a full count as the Saints look to get a 2-out base runner. Strike 3 called over the outside corner, and now it's Schoonover's turn to be upset about a call. He thought that he had just worked his way down to first base, but instead, it's a 1-2-3 inning. Saints go down in order for the first time since the 2nd as we head to inning number 8 at St. Francis 4, Olivet Nazarene 0. First pitch of the 8th inning from Angel Sandoval comes in for a strike. 0-1 on the Olivet catcher, Jake Bizkalis. Next pitch clips the outside corner, 0-2. 4-0, St. Francis has the lead. They scored 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. Olivet had a good chance to score first in this game. They had a guy thrown out at the plate in the 1st inning and haven't threatened too often since. There's a bouncing ball down the 3rd base line, gloved by Josh Tesh, but he has no play at first. An infield hit for Bizkalis. Frustrating start to the inning for the Fighting Saints as they had him 0-2. And he barely made contact with that one, but got just enough to roll it out to the right spot for a hit. Josh Tesh would have been better served just letting that ball roll. He had no play at first base. Not sure it would have gone foul. My guess is that it would not have gone foul. But he still would have been better served to let it roll because there was no chance once he picked it up. So a runner at first base, nobody out. Snaps a string of 4 straight, retired by Sandoval. There's a righty warming up in the St. Francis bullpen right now. Sandoval gunning for his 6th complete game of the year, but again, most of those have been 7-inning games. If this were a 7-inning game, he already would have the complete game. Bunt popped up foul for strike 1 on Alex Campy. I think Campy might be bunting for a hit here, down by 4 runs in the 8th inning. There's no real sense to a sacrifice. He tried to drop down a bunt on that first pitch, popped it behind home plate, a little bit too far out of the reach of Kevin Rada. So the count is 0-1 on Campy, who has struck out twice, both times swinging. The 0-1 is ripped down the third base line, but foul. And the count is 0-2. Courtesy runner over at first base for Biz Kalis is Mason Sherrill. Sherrill is a pitcher, but he'll do a little pinch running here. Ball outside. The count moves to 1-2. He has scored 17 runs on the season. I'm always interested in guys you see on the roster who have an inordinate number of runs based on their at-bats. You know they're used as pinch runners a lot, and especially here as courtesy runners. As Campy can't hold up his swing. The pitch was in the dirt. Tried to check it up, but didn't. Strike 3. And he is the first out of the inning. 3rd time he has gone down on strikes today. Sherrill at first base now with 1 down, and the batter is Campbell. Sherrill's got 8 stolen bases on the season. Getting late in this game, down by 4. I don't know if you want to go. Well, that needs a big inning at this point, more than just 1 or 2 runs, although we're still in the 8th. Ball inside Campbell. If this were the 9th inning, certainly you wouldn't expect him to steal, but in the 8th, they may play for his run still. Ryan Campbell is 2 for 3. He has singled twice. And he takes a ball. Count is 2-0, sorry. 2-0 count. 1 on, 1 out. Sandoval over 100 pitches for the game now as this ball is fouled out of play. It's 2-1. We saw his counterpart Gertine go over the century mark last inning and immediately get pulled. Again, there is action in the St. Francis bullpen, but Sandoval has not shown any signs so far of slowing down. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ball off the outside corner, 3-1. Biz Kalis' infield single led off the inning. Sherrill, the pinch runners at first, as Campbell swings and pops it up. Foul territory behind home plate. Rada chases and runs out of room. That ball lands on the dugout, on the St. Francis dugout, down the third base line. It makes it a 3-2 count. Campbell's got 2 of his team's 5 hits today. All 5 have been singles. 2 for Campbell, 1 for Reno, 1 for Matson, and the infield hit earlier this inning for Biz Kalis. Saints only have 4 hits. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Angel Sandoval. And Campbell is out number 2. 6 strikeouts in the ballgame for Sandoval. It's the second time he's gone back-to-back with them. Here's R.W. Reno. Biz Kalis led off the inning with a single, but the runner is still at first with 2 down now. Reno trying to keep their hopes alive here in the 8th. He's 1 for 3. And R.W. Reno takes ball 1 inside. Of St. Francis's 4 hits, only 1 of them has gone for extra bases. It was a big one. That was an RBI double in the 6th inning for Anthony Ferran. Ball high, 2-0. Despite throwing 5 complete games this year, Sandoval does not have a shutout. This ball's fouled away off the net. It's 2-1. He's 4 outs away from one here. I'm not sure, even if he gets through this 8th inning, if he'll come back out for the 9th. It's to be determined, but boy, has he been sharp all throughout this game, and this is not against one of the sorry sisters of the league. Olivet Nazarene has got one of the best offensive attacks in the CCAC. Bunted foul by Reno. It's 2-2. Again, a .307 team batting average. Just in their starting lineup today, they've got 6 different guys hitting .300 or better. And Braden Payne's at .293. So pretty much everybody up and down this lineup can hit. And nobody has today. 2-2. Fouled back off the screen. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. They've scored just shy of 200 runs on the season, averaging better than 7 per game. And today they've got none through 7 2/3. Another 2-2 with a runner on the move. It's taken for ball 3. Throw to second base is on the money and in time. Sherrill is caught stealing for the first time this year. Kevin Rada has gunned down 2 of them today. And we'll head to the bottom of the 8th. St. Francis looking for insurance now. They lead Olivet 4-0. Bottom of the 8th inning, St. Francis 4, Olivet Nazarene 0. Dolan Nicholson, Joe McGuire, Anthony Ferran due up this inning for the Fighting Saints against Owen Oliver, who recorded a strikeout against Travis Schoonover to end the 7th. And now he gets to start an inning for the first time. First pitch to Dolan Nicholson misses inside for ball 1. Nicholson is 1 for 3. His hit was a big one, a 2-out RBI single in the 5th. It was his first RBI hit of the year. He takes a ball up and in, 2-0. Saints have RBI hits today from Nicholson and Ferran. McGuire and Tesh have knocked in runs while not getting hits. An RBI ground out and a sacrifice fly. Ball up and away, 3-0. Owen Oliver hasn't walked anybody this year. Granted, he's only pitched 5 innings, but he's exhibited good control on the mound throughout the season. Since coming into today's game, he's thrown 6 balls and only 3 strikes. And there's a 4-pitch walk to Nicholson. Leadoff man reaches for St. Francis. They'll try to make this a runaway as Joe McGuire comes up. This was a very tightly matched pitchers duel pretty much all the way through. It was 1-0 into the bottom of the 5th when Nicholson's hit made it 2-0, and then in the bottom of the 6th, the Saints were finally able to provide a little breathing room with a couple of runs on just 1 hit. And 4-0 has seemed almost insurmountable in this game, the way that Angel Sandoval has pitched. Joe McGuire swings the first pitch and lifts it out to deep right field. It's playable, though. The catch is made by Jacob Bultice, and there's 1 away. McGuire 0 for 3 with a run and an RBI in his return to the lineup. Here's Anthony Ferran. Ferran is 1 for 2, an RBI double, a walk, a run scored. Ho-hum day for him. He went 4 for 5 in the 13-3 win against Trinity International on Tuesday. Was named CCAC Player of the Week last week. Ferran takes strike 1 from Owen Oliver. Mentioned last time he was up, he would need to get hits in 5 consecutive at-bats in order to move that batting average above 500 for the year. This is a grounder to the shortstop, scooped up by Campbell. He flips to second for 1, over to first, a double play. I'll go back to the chalkboard to redo the math on that, as Ferran is retired, as is Nicholson, on the twin killing to end the inning. No runs score in the 8th for St. Francis, but they've got a 4-run lead as we head to the 9th, 3 outs away from their 16th win in their last 17 games. Saints lead 4-0. Four to nothing, St. Francis, top of the 9th inning. R.W. Reno leads things off. Last chance for Olivet. Reno takes a ball low and in from Hunter Murawski into the game, replacing Angel Sandoval. Murawski on for the 12th time. He's 2-1 with a 1.59 ERA. In 17 innings pitched, he's allowed 5 runs, 3 of them earned on 18 hits, 6 strikeouts, 12 walks. Opponents are batting .277 this year against Murawski, who fires a strike on Reno. It's 1-1. R.W. Reno is 1 for 3 today. He was in the batter's box with a 3-2 count on him. when Sherrill was caught stealing second to end the last inning. There's a ball low and in, 2-1. That caught stealing was the second of the game for Kevin Rada. It was the fourth base runner thrown out on the base paths for Olivet today. There's a called strike, 2-2. This is an Olivet team that averages more than 3 stolen bases per game, and coming into today was stealing them at an 89% clip. Today they're 0 for 2. Ball 3, the count goes full. Angel Sandoval not able to pick up his 6th complete game of the year, but his 8 innings pitched are actually more than in a typical game for him. And he was magnificent. 8 shutout innings for the sophomore Sandoval. Hard grounder right at the first baseman. Ferran gloves it cleanly and steps on the bag, 1 away in the 9th. That brings up Nathan Moonen. Sandoval in his 8 innings did not allow any runs, 5 hits. He struck out 6 in the contest, walked 2. Just a fantastic performance as he is in line for his 3rd victory of the year. Nathan Moonen takes strike 1 over the outside corner. Moonen is 0 for 2 with a walk. Back in the first inning, the first 2 batters of the game reached on singles for Olivet. Moonen came up with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out. As he taps this one back to the pitcher. Morawski gloves it. Throws to first. 2 away. It's hard to ever know what kind of an impact a first inning play will have on a game, but the way that Sandoval started, he just didn't look sharp coming out of the gate. Got Moonen to fly out, turned it into a double play when Campbell was thrown out trying to score. That seemed to calm Sandoval down a bit, and ever since, he has been fantastic, or he was fantastic, I should say. He's out of the game now. And it's been a dominant performance for St. Francis, really, not just from their pitching staff, but offensively as well, as Fisher takes a strike. They only have 4 hits in the game, but they have really shown Olivet how to win a ball game with 4 hits. Whereas the Tigers have had runners thrown out on the bases left and right, St. Francis just seemed to turn every one of their base runners into gold. 4 hits, they've been helped out a lot as well by 4 walks. 2 of them have scored. They've been opportunistic. Ball in the dirt, 2-1. 2 outs, nobody on, 9th inning. Saints on the verge of improving to 16-1 since March 13th. The majority of that coming at home. Their next 6 games after today will be on the road. Two balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Fouled off to the right side, out of play. And the Tigers are down to their final strike of the game. These 2 teams will duel in Bourbonnais tomorrow starting at 12:30 p.m. A doubleheader between St. Francis and Olivet Nazarene, and it looks like the Saints will be in pretty good position to win the series as they are 1 strike away from taking game 1. The 2-2 pitch. Just off the inside corner, ball 3. Morawski trying for a 1-2-3 9th inning. Sandoval had 3 perfect innings out of his 8 today. Payoff pitch. Swung on, lifted out to right field. Deep, but not deep enough. Schoonover backs up, makes the catch, and there's your ball game. The Saints win 4-0. They pick up a shutout victory for the 2nd time in their last 3 games, and they win for the 16th time in their last 17 games. Just a great game today if you're a Saints fan. Sandoval was brilliant. The offense did just enough. Morawski comes in and shuts the door in the 9th, and the Saints improve to 20-12 on the season. They remain in first place in the CCAC. Let's go back over the scoring in today's game, and the recap really starts before the scoring. In the top of the first inning, the play that I just mentioned for Olivet, they had runners at 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Campbell was thrown out trying to score on a fly out to shallow right field. A double play essentially ended the Olivet scoring threat. And then St. Francis did strike in the bottom of the first inning. Travis Schoonover hit a fly ball out to deep left field. It was misplayed by Alex Campy, turned into a triple. He would score on a Joe McGuire ground out And that turned out to be all that the Saints needed. It was 1-0, and it remained 1-0 all the way into the 5th inning when Kevin Rada drew a walk and later scored on a 2-out base hit from Dolan Nicholson. That made it 2-zip. In the 6th inning, McGuire walked. Ferran doubled him in to make it 3-0. Ferran scored the game's final run on a Josh Tesh sacrifice fly. The Saints led 4-0, and that was the score they would win by, as Olivet never really got anything going. They had 2 separate runners in the 1st inning reach third base. One of them again was thrown out at the plate. The other was stranded at third. They didn't get a runner to third base again the rest of the afternoon. In fact, they only got 1 more runner into scoring position. That was Braden Payne, who was hit by a pitch in the 5th, but they shot themselves in the foot time and again during today's game on the base paths. They had 4 runners thrown out, one of them at home plate on the aforementioned play in the 1st inning. They had 2 runners caught stealing and 1 picked off. And that was that. Angel Sandoval, 8 innings, no runs, only 5 hits allowed, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. He picks up the win. Sandoval improves to 3-4 on the season. The losing pitcher was Tyler Gertine. Gertine, who came in with a 5-2 record and a 1.83 ERA, wasn't bad today, but he wasn't good enough. He allowed all 4 runs over 6 2/3 innings. He falls to 5-3 for the season. With the win, the Saints improved to 20-12 on the year. They remain in first place in the conference with a 12-1 record. Olivet, with the loss, falls to 19-9. They're now 8-3 in conference play, still in 3rd place, and they will host St. Francis for 2 games tomorrow. It's the start of a 6-game road trip for the Fighting Saints. They don't return home until a week from Sunday. On April 14th, they will play Roosevelt at 1:00 p.m. at Central Time here again next Sunday. But tomorrow should be a good doubleheader. It starts at 12:30 at Olivet Nazarene. And for as well as the Saints handled the Tigers today, Olivet has not lost a game in their home ballpark this year. They're 8-0 in Bourbonnais. So it should be a tough test for St. Francis tomorrow as they begin a 6-game road trip to be played out over the course of the next week. They look to remain atop the CCAC. They remain atop for 1 more day at least as they take care of Olivet today by a final score of 4-0. That's going to do it for our broadcast today. The next one is that game against Roosevelt a week from Sunday, 1:00 p.m. on April 14th. Join us for that. Until then, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis following the 4-0 victory. I'll talk to you next time.